Let's get this shit started. Never played this before. Am I excited to play this? I don't know. I'm kind of scared, okay, because I am very well aware of From Software games.
Was consumed by perpetual conflict. The fires of war raged on,
See, this is a really dope.
spreading deep into the mountains, to the land of Ashina.
Damn. Yo, this cinematic is nuts.
Is the war finally over?
Jesus. Oh, this is next level. What the?
General Tamura is no more!
Master swordsman Ishin Ashina staged a bloody coup and wrested control of the land.
I was gonna say this is beautiful, but there's like hundreds of dead bodies on the floor.
What's the matter, Stray? Nothing left to lose? Well, would you look at that? Fascinating. Will you join me, starving wolf?
On that day, a young cub was taken from the battlefield. He trained relentlessly, and indeed, went on to become a master shinobi.
Fire.
Listen, wolf. You
I like
must
this.
never
This is
forget
cold.
the shinobi code. As your father, my word is absolute. Your master's is a close second. As of today, he is your master. Defend him with your life. If he is taken, bring him back at any cost. You understand me, don't you, wolf?
I mean, Elden Ring had me paranoid. I was like rolling into every wall I seen like 50 plus times. Jesus. Who adds that into a game? Like, that shit had me mad paranoid.
You will pledge your life in my service.
I'm being sunned by somebody's son. Think about that.
As
Crazy.
you command.
I already know that I'm not going to do the greatest in the combat, maybe. Posture and death blows. A shinobi aims to break the opponent's posture. Attacking an enemy is one way to achieve this. When an enemy posture breaks, he is vulnerable to a shinobi death blow. It's after... Sure, death blow, okay. That's so loud. Alright. Let's see. Okay. That felt pretty good. But of course they're gonna put the easy enemies first. Okay, so far, so good, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. I really didn't want to say that. Okay, counter slash. That's what I've been doing. Bring it. Okay. Let's not get cocky. Okay. Doesn't he have 2 lives? He's gonna have 2 lives. Death blow against stronger enemies somehow. Probably multiple death blows to be killed. I can't think with the music! Okay. Let's not die here. Fire. Okay. I'm sorry. That music actually making me deaf. We'll turn everything down. Jesus. Convert. Oh no. No. Did it work? Okay. Oh my god. It's giving me a thumbs up. Did I do a good job? Oh god. Oh, that ass. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, I have no idea in what direction I'm headed. What's in here? Oh, this is the escape route? So I went the right way on accident. Okay.
Yes, my lord.
I feel like I missed so much. Someone let me know if I missed like incredibly good things.
This is the only way to...
You're leading me to my demise, you mother flower, aren't you? I don't want to go fight that. I already know he's gonna kick my ass. I haven't played the game, but I know that I'm gonna have to come back and fight this guy. I already know he's gonna kill me. This is the most From Software thing I've ever seen. I mean, look at this. This is the most Battlefield-esque. I mean, it's beautiful. He's gonna absolutely destroy me, isn't he?
The divine heir. Last we stood together was your uncle's funeral.
Lord Genichiro. Thank you.
Leave this to me. So the noble shinobi stands in our way. You face Genichiro Ashina.
So I realized that at some point while I was playing, I muted my mic, probably during a cutscene or whatever. I probably went to go use the restroom and didn't even realize it was muted. My goal was to kind of talk like in the beginning of this video, like as I'm just casually playing. Unfortunately, that's not how this first episode's gonna go. I'm gonna make sure that this doesn't happen again in my future episodes. But yeah, I'm gonna just talk about my first impressions of the game and how I feel about it so far. So the game is quite fun. I already see the frustration that it's gonna cause me if I keep playing it. I want to keep playing it. It's fun. It feels good. The animations are super dope. But there's like this gigantic skill gap, right? And I was hoping that, you know, the time I spent with Elden Ring, a little bit of Bloodborne, and then combine that with a lot of the time I spent with God of War, I was hoping that those same mechanics would kind of help me. And it, you know, a little bit, right? I'm not comparing this game to any of those other games really, because you know this has its own little flavor to it. But you know, the parrying, the dodging, all that's kind of similar to God of War, which is I feel like is helping me quite a bit. This game though, as much as I might compare it to other games, this game is its own thing. You know, even though the mechanics might be similar to God of War, it's not the same in the sense that this game's a lot more brutal. God of War is way more forgiving. The one problem I have with games like this, and this is not, you know, a shot at the game itself, is I find it a little strange that they make it so hard, because I just feel as like most people, if they were to play this game, would give up immediately, you know, even after spending some money on it. And I get that, you know, because it can be very hard. This game can be extremely hard and extremely brutal, especially if it's like your first time playing a game like this. You know, the only thing I recommend is to just keep sticking with it. Look up some YouTube tutorials, you know, like there's a skill gap in this game, you know, and I give a lot of credit to those insane freaks that spend a lot of time getting good at this game. It's not something that you could just pick up and just be naturally good at. I mean, I'm comparing this to God of War and all that, and I'm still struggling. You know, there's just bosses, the way that they hit you or the moves that they hit you is just different from what I'm used to, and it's gonna take some time. So everything that you're watching right now is all my first time experiences. I do die a lot, but I kind of edit all of it out. So you'll see me die a few times, but I edit about 5 or 6 deaths out. The boss on the horse boss, I don't even know what you would call it, the shinobi, right? Like the first main boss that you actually fight, got me quite a bit, but it's mostly because of this dog shit camera angle that From Software just can't seem to fix. You know, again, I spent a lot of time in Elden Ring, and that being like my first From Software game, I was kind of lenient about it because, you know, it's my first From Software game, so I wasn't really expecting much. But then I found out that a lot of people are complaining about it, and it's a very common thing. And this game, it's a little unfortunate because a bad camera angle can screw you so bad. I mean, I guess it's like that in any game. I think the most frustrating part is when you're just dying over and over again because you're getting kind of irritated, and then the camera fucks up. Like when the horse was running into me and I was just staring at this giant horse cock, I was like, bruh, like I don't want this. I don't want to see this no more. Get it out of my face. And the worst part is like I'll have the lock on be initiated, and then as soon as, you know, something like that happens, the camera breaks and it just stops locking on, and that's the irritating part. But anyway, as you can see, I experienced my first death and then, you know, get this resurrection unlocked, which is something I was very well aware of. I wasn't sure if it was going to pop up immediately. You know, in my head, I thought I had to continue with the story a little bit longer. It's kind of nice that you get it early on because, again, some of the enemies that you fight in this game can be very brutal for anybody. Whenever I play a game for the first time, I try to learn as much as I can. Now, as much as I say like I'm getting frustrated and stuff like that, it's not so much at the game, it's more at myself, because again, I just have such high standards for myself. So when I'm fighting a boss for several minutes, or when it keeps hitting me with the same move, I'm like, come on, dog, like what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I do it? And it's just, I just gotta spend the time doing it, you know? So when I say I'm frustrated, it's not because I'm like sitting here like shitty at the game pretty much, even though you might hear me go, man, this game is dog shit, why is this game made? You know, that's just gamer rage, I guess. Right around here is where I fight an ogre, and I feel like anything that has 2 health bars that isn't a shinobi is a mini boss, which I like the mini bosses because I feel like they help you get better mechanically at the game, whether it's dodging, timing stuff, all that. You know, the timing in this game is 90% of the gameplay. You know, you get that down and you'll just be better regardless. You cannot panic. If you panic, you're gonna die. You know, maybe in some occasions you'll get kind of lucky, but It's all, again, it's all about timing. That is something that I noticed immediately. So as you can see on my very first attempt, didn't go as well, but I mean, that's okay. I feel like you're not really doing yourself a favor if you're kind of panicking and beating it on your first try, because when I do beat it, I get the timing down a little bit better. You'll see it later on in the video. But as you can see, like even this right here, like I just panic jump, you know, and you can jump out of that, but it was more of me just kind of pressing random buttons instead of looking at the screen, trying to time it. You know, I saw the red indicator pop up and I was like X X X X, and that was pretty much it. And again, that won't really help you. You got to sit there and just struggle sometimes. So this is like my fourth or fifth, maybe sixth attempt. I really don't know. I lost track. I spent a lot of time just sitting here trying to just learn the timing of things. So I wouldn't even attack the ogre. I would just sit here and block and parry and try to dodge and jump. And again, just try to get used to it because I didn't want to fight an ogre in the future and then struggle with that because I didn't spend the time to learn just the basic moves they already have. Another thing that I want to point out is that you can see that I'm a lot more patient throughout this fight than I am in a lot of the other fights. And look at right there, that dodge that you saw, again, that's the timing that I was talking about. You know, so the fight before this one, I was just sitting there practicing that one thing because I realized that his grab is the only thing that's killing me. You know, there's nothing else hitting me or doing damage to me. He kept grabbing me and throwing me, and I was like, all right, that one move is killing me. I need to figure out how to dodge it properly. You know, and even though it's like you might practice your dodge and it might not work, try jumping. You know, that's a lot of things that From Software does. It took me a minute to find out is that jumping is also kind of dodging in certain attacks, which is cool. You know, I'm fine with that. It's just experimenting. There's a lot of experimentation in these games. After defeating the ogre, you just grapple up to this hole in the wall, which leads you to this next area. And in this area, there's another mini boss fight. I tried fighting him right away. I just went up and stealth assassinated him, which got rid of an entire health bar. But there was too many small guys like this around that were just, you know, being too much of a pain. So a few attempts later, I realized what I needed to do, and that's kind of just assassinate anybody and everybody that's not the big guy. I end up getting extremely lucky right here because I fall off and the general doesn't even know I'm behind him, so I just go up and stealthily take down one of his health bars, which is massive because now instead of fighting him twice, I only have to fight him once. I did end up finally defeating him, and then after doing that, I did what all gamers do. I hit him with that teabag. Unfortunately, right after this, though, is where I wish I had my microphone on, because this is where you see the giant snake. This right here is hilarious. So I hear all this crashing and rumbling around me. I'm like, what is that? You know, so I jump to this other branch, and then bam. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. And then this is where I scream. And I had no idea that that was going to happen, and now I'm in panic mode, as you can see. This right here I thought was a super cool thing to add into a video game. I've never really experienced something like that where, you know, as you're just exploring, here's a giant monster just you know, in the way. And ironically, I think there was another path I could have taken, and I was like, you know, I want to know what's down here. And it was awesome. I mean, look at this. This is just super cool. So I finally made it to this Shinobi boss, which is the first actual boss fight. Every other fight before that was kind of just a mini boss. And I want to know how you guys feel about this fight. Do you think it was too hard, too easy, or do you think it was a nice, like, in-between? Me personally, I think it was a nice in-between. If you take what you learn from the tutorial, I feel like everything that you fight up to this point is the tutorial. You know, so you sit there and you struggle a little bit, you'll do better in this fight, I think. I'm actually a little relieved that I didn't beat him on my first couple of tries. Because on my third, fourth, and fifth attempt, I get absolutely pummeled. But it helps me understand his attacks a little bit better. Like, okay, I can't attack when he's doing that. Or, you know, I have to block a little bit better. Or it just helps me with my parrying. And I feel like by you sitting here and doing that, it's gonna help you in the future. Granted, I might be so wrong. You know, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm hoping that by spending a little bit of time in the beginning, it's gonna help you throughout the entire game. If I had to summarize every key point that I was trying to make throughout this video, one, it would be the camera angle sucks and you have every right to complain about it. Two, to sit there and kind of struggle and just get used to dying, I guess, a little bit. Three, don't get frustrated. You know, as much as it's the game, it's also you. You kind of just have to get better, focus on what you feel like you have to improve on. You know, whether it's blocking or dodging, or whether it's timing your attacks, or maybe you're attacking too much. Because there is a thing as being too aggressive in this game where if you keep pressing R1, you're going to get punished eventually. Anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for episode 1. If you did enjoy this, hit that like button. That would mean an absolute ton. As always, I love y'all, and I hope that I get to see you in part 2. Peace. Alright, everybody, I think this is going to do it for part 1. If you enjoyed this, I hope I get to see you in part 2. As always, I love y'all, and I hope you guys stay smooth. Peace.